Hello guys, we are back. Today we have Carabao Cup round 1 predictions, Sophie. How are you feeling?
Yeah, do you know what? I'm feeling alright. I like these cup games because it means more football.
Yeah, it does. And they're very hard to predict, I must say. Get your predictions down below, guys. There's over 30 games for Carabao Cup round 1, so we're not going to sit here and talk about all of them, as we would be here for ages. So we'll try and talk about half of them, as many as possible, and the ones we don't mention will be highlighted at the end of the video. So stick around to the end of the video if you think we've missed your team. Before we get into the video, guys, please show some brilliant support. Let's go for 2,000 likes. Not many footballing channels do Carabao Cup predictions, so get involved and support us. 2,000 likes would be amazing, and if you're not already subscribed, help us get to 71,000 subscribers this week by hitting that subscribe button to get some amazing footballing content. Get involved. Let's get into it, Sophie, and let's start with Stockport County versus Blackburn Rovers. And yes, it's a cup game. It's difficult to predict how strong either team will go, but they both had some great results in the league at the weekend. Stockport got off to a great start in League One, beating Cambridge 2-0. I thought they would win. But Blackburn, great result against Derby, and they looked very dangerous.
They did. I think it's fair to say that Derby made them look better, but they're coming up against a team in the lower division. So
yeah, Stockport obviously a league below, but with the home advantage and the fact that I just think they're a very good team, I think they could give Blackburn a very good game. I'm going to go for a Desmond, and I'm going to go for Stockport to win on penalties. Anything can happen in this cup, Sophie, so I'll give it to them with the home advantage. Stockport on penalties. Okay,
what we did see last season was Blackburn weren't very good in the league, but they did go on a bit of a cup run, so you think, okay, are they going to take this cup seriously? Possibly. Ultimately, staying up in the Championship is priority, but why not go on a bit of a cup run as well? So I think Blackburn are going to do it, actually. I see what you're saying. I can see why you've backed Stockport, because they are a good team, and obviously they got off to winning ways in the start of their league campaign, but I'm going to go 2-1 Blackburn. Yeah, I think they will play a slightly weaker team, but I still think they'll progress.
There you go. We're going either way on that one. Share your thoughts down below. On to the next one, Sophie, as we go to Brunton Park. It's Carlisle United versus Stoke City. Now, we got to see Stoke on Saturday, and I thought they looked very good.
They did, to be honest. Especially the first half of the game, they looked good. They created a lot of chances. They could have finished more. If their finishing was better, the scoreline would have been much more in their favour, but overall I thought that was a solid performance. Yeah, and the problem I've said with Stoke City over recent seasons is consistency. But if they keep playing like that, they could be a real threat this season. It's a cup game though, and it's hard to know how serious they will take it. As for Carlisle United, they reside in League 2. It was a pretty poor start for them, losing 4-1 away to Gillingham on the opening weekend. Do you know what? There could be an upset on the cards, but I'm not going to go for it. I'm going to go for Stoke to, even with their second team, get past this test. Carlisle 0, Stoke 2. Yeah, I'm starting to think it could be a long season for Carlisle. I know it's early doors, but I think they're going to go out of this cup first round as well. So I'm going to say Stoke 2-0. Stoke 2-0. Yeah, I think they'll play a weaker side, but I still think they'll have enough to quite easily win this one.
Yeah, it'd be nice for Carlisle to win this, but I suppose more of their concentration has got to be on getting out of League 2. On to the next one, Sophie. We go to Derby versus Chesterfield, which could be an interesting matchup. There's not really that much distance between these two places, and I'm sure Chesterfield will take quite a few fans to Derby County, and there could be an upset on the cards. Chesterfield, they kicked off their League 2 season with a 1-1 draw against Swindon. It's not bad, and you know they could have won that game really. But I think they will have a good season. Derby County, they kicked off their season on Friday night, and it didn't go very well whatsoever. I thought they were very flaky. Pretty good from set pieces. I thought they looked quite a threat from the corners, but other than that, really poor. And if they don't start picking things up in the league, then there will be pressure on Paul Warne. I'll go Derby 1, Chesterfield 2. I'm going to go for the upset here. Okay,
so you're throwing in a cup set early doors. I'm going to go for the favourite. I'm going to say 1-0 Derby. Okay. They obviously showed that they could score in the Championship, so I think at home, I don't think they'll play their strongest side. coming up against Chesterfield, who I think will have a decent season, but I think they'll be out of this one first round as well.
There you go. On to the next one, Soph. Let's go to Carrow Road, where Norwich City take on Stevenage. Now, obviously, one of the best games we ever went to was Stevenage winning away at Aston Villa in the FA Cup. Could there be another cup set on the cards for them? It's going to be difficult. It's definitely a step up going away to Norwich, but the results at the weekend definitely went Stevenage's way. They won 1-0 at home to Shrewsbury. And as for Norwich City, they lost 2-0 to Oxford. And Johnny Rowe didn't want to play. It's a bit pear-shaped, isn't it? I'm going to go for Norwich. I would love an upset, but I can't keep going for upsets. I'll go Norwich 2-1. I reckon Alex Ravel's team will give him a good game, but I just think the quality of Norwich will get the win.
So I think at least one of us has to back Stevenage.
Ooh.
And it's going to be me. And I'll say it with chest. I'm going to say Stevenage 2-1. They're going on another cup run this season and I'm backing them.
There you go.
Purely because Norwich didn't look at their best. I think they're going to rest a few players. I could be completely wrong. They might go full strength. But I'm going to back the boys.
Yeah.
2-1 Stevenage.
But like you said, Norwich will need a reaction after losing to Oxford.
Yeah.
And that's who we're going to next. It's Oxford United versus Peterborough. It's a rematch of the League One playoff semi-final from last season where Oxford won. And then, of course, they beat Bolton and they are now in the Championship. And what a start to Championship life for Oxford, winning 2-0 against Norwich. They take on Peterborough, who lost 2-0 to a team who's gone the other way, Huddersfield, who just went down. Difficult to tell how serious each team will take this. I think if you said to Oxford fans, if you're going to go out of every cup in the first round but stay up, they would take that.
Surely, yeah.
So I'm tempted to go for Peterborough, but I'm not.
Okay.
I'm going to go for Oxford.
Yeah.
2-1.
See, I'm going to take it all the way. I think it's going to be 1-1. Oxford do it on pens.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one. Going to be a long one, which I don't know if the Oxford fans would really like that. But ultimately, I think Peterborough on their day, they're a good team as well. So I think they could test Oxford, but I think they've got enough to get it over the line.
Yeah. Obviously, we play Oxford on Friday night. Coventry, so let's hope Oxford get a few red cards and injuries.
Yeah, that sounds so horrible.
I'm only joking.
Yeah, hopefully.
On to the next one. Let's go to Fleetwood Town versus West Brom. Fleetwood Town got off to a winning start in League Two at the weekend, winning 1-0. As for West Brom, what a win against Queen's Park Rangers.
Yeah, it was an emphatic performance, wasn't it?
And they'll be saying they don't need Thomas Asante because they've got Madja, who got a hat-trick.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for West Brom here. Let's go for another 3-1. Let's back the Baggies to make it back-to-back 3-1 away wins.
I think after their performance on the weekend, you can't not back the Baggies. So for me, West Brom, comfortable 2-0 win.
Yeah.
Seems like I'm almost dismissing Fleetwood. And in a way, I kind of am, just because I thought West Brom looked that good. And I think they're going to follow it up because they want that confidence, they want that momentum to continue, obviously, then into the league. And I think they're going to do it quite comfortably, so 2-0.
Yeah, and even if West Brom do rotate, they've still got plenty of good players.
Yeah, they've got quality, haven't they?
On to the next one, Sophie. It's an all-championship matchup. It's Portsmouth versus Millwall. Could be an interesting game, especially if you take their results from the weekend. Portsmouth drawing 3-3 with Leeds. Millwall lost 3-2 to Watford. Let's carry on the theme with some goals. I'm going to go for goals here. The only thing I will say, once again, is it's hard to say how serious
They're both going to take it.
Each of them are going to take this. If Portsmouth go full strength and Millwall go weak, Pompey win. If it's vice versa, Millwall win. If they both go strong, it could make for a good game. I'm going to go Portsmouth 3-2.
Ooh, another 3-2 loss for Millwall.
Yeah.
I think surely you have two teams that have just conceded and scored a lot and you expect goals, and then it could be the complete opposite.
Yeah,
I'm going to go for it. I'm going to say Portsmouth 1-0.
Oh, okay.
They get it over the line. I think it could be a really entertaining game, but not loads of goals. I think surely both teams after the weekend would have learnt some lessons.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what? I don't want to concede that many. And I think it's going to be a bit of a flip compared to the weekend results. So 1-0 Portsmouth.
1-0 Portsmouth. What I want, though, is if Pompey get through, I want them to get Southampton in the next round.
Yeah.
Or if Millwall get through, I want them to get West Ham in the next round. That's what I want to see in these cups. On to the next one, Sophie. It's another all-championship matchup. It's Preston versus Sunderland. Great start for Sunderland, Sophie. They won 2-0 away from home at Cardiff. Preston, they lost 2-0 at home to Sheffield United. their fans could do with a bit of a pick-me-up result, couldn't they? They could do with a win in this cup. But no, I'm going to go for Sunderland to make it back-to-back away wins.
Okay.
Maybe there's a good feeling about Sunderland right now, and maybe they just pinch this 1-0.
See, I think it could be a draw. I think it could be going to penalties. I'm going to say 1-1, but Sunderland do it on pens, which I do love a penalty shootout. Obviously not being in them, just watching as a neutral. But yeah, we've not got the best track record. But for Sunderland, I think it's going to be a much better time. So 1-1, but Sunderland on pens.
There you go. Right, on to the next one, Sophie, and it's another all-championship matchup. It's Bristol City versus Coventry City, and we are terrible in this competition. We are absolutely hopeless. We've never won this competition, we've never got to the final of this competition, and we always seem to go out in the first bloody round as well.
Yeah.
What was it last year? Wimbledon.
Wimbledon last year,
What's the year before that? Bristol City at Burton, wasn't it? And the year before that was Northampton, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We are pretty bad at this cup. And yeah, if you chuck on top of that the result and performance from Stoke, I don't know.
Seems a sure thing. We're out in first round.
Bristol City were unlucky not to get a win at Hull at the weekend.
Yeah.
It was a last-minute goal for Hull. Yeah, I don't like to do this, but Bristol City 2-1. I'd like to win, but once again, if you offer me a good league season, I'm happy to go out of the cups. But after losing at the weekend, I don't want to lose again, but I think we might. 2-1.
I agree with that, and actually it sounds terrible, but I actually wouldn't care if we lost this one. Unless it's a terrible performance, so I will caveat that. But I agree, I think it could be a Bristol City 1-0 win. I think it could be a little bit cagey. I think we're going to rotate, have some of our fringe players start. Don't know how seriously Bristol City are going to take it, but I just can't back us to win. We're not very good in this competition, so I'll have egg on my face if I back us. It'll just be completely biased. So 1-0.
Yeah, you'll have egg on your face. I'll have poo on my back. And yeah, to be honest, like you said, if we lose, it's not the end of the world. We will stream this game on the channel, so do join us on Tuesday. It's just a question of how serious do we take it, and we don't usually. So
no, we don't really.
On to the next game, Sophie. It's Cardiff City versus Bristol Rovers. Might be interesting. Might be a little bit, interesting in the fan bases. I don't know how seriously they'll take this. But it's not far, is what I'm trying to say. I'm going to go for an upset here.
Okay.
Bristol Rovers got off to a good start in League One. They got a last-minute goal against Northampton. And Cardiff, they weren't very good against Sunderland. So let's go Cardiff 0, Bristol Rovers 1. I'm going for the gas.
Oh, I like that you're going for some of the upsets. I keep going for the favourites, and I'm going to stay true to that. So 1-0 Cardiff.
Yeah.
Keep going low scoring, but I can just see it happening. I think they will get a win being at home, but equally, I could see your result playing out as well. So I'll stick with mine though, 1-0.
1-0. Okay, on to the next one, Sophie. Let's stay in South Wales because we've got Swansea City versus Gillingham. Gillingham, as I said, great result against Carlisle.
Yeah, great result.
Great start to League Two. They won 4-1, of course. And Swansea, they lost 1-0 to Middlesbrough at the weekend. It's not the end of the world, but if they can win this, it'll put a few smiles back on their faces. I don't know. Do you know what? I'll go for a close game. I reckon if Swansea rotate, Gillingham will give them a good game. So I'm going to go 1-1, but I'm going to go for Swansea on penalties.
Okay, I'm going 1-0 Gillingham. I've gone for a lot of the favourites, so this is the one that I'm going to switch it up. And I'll probably get some stick because I often go against Swansea, so come at me. But I think Gillingham might just edge this one. I think it's going to be a close game, probably go quite late on, but I think Gillingham snatch it.
Oh, there you go. Okay, on to the next one, Soph. Let's go to Sheffield United versus Wrexham. Really could be an interesting match. Cast your minds back a couple of years and they played in the FA Cup, and that was after Wrexham had beaten Coventry. And I think it was it 3-3 at the racecourse?
It was, yeah, it was a great game.
And then there was a really good game at Bramall Lane as well. Yeah. Sheffield United got the better of them. Billy Sharp was rubbing salt in the Wrexham wounds, and there's now a little bit of needle to this one. Wrexham will be hoping to get a result, and they got off to a perfect start in League One. They won 3-2 against Wycombe.
Well.
Yeah, the second goal.
Yeah, that was actually class.
That was unbelievable. But I tell you what, Sheffield United, they won on Friday night against Preston, and Gustavo Verheim's goal.
Another great goal for him.
That was a good goal.
That.
Let's go for some fun. Sheffield United 3, Wrexham 2.
Oh, no way. Yeah, I'm going for the same. I think there could be some goals in this. I think Sheffield United might slightly rotate, but equally, I know they've added a few more players recently, but equally, they've not got the biggest squad at the moment, so they might be forced to play some of their good players, and that's why I can see them edging this. I think Wrexham are going to have a good season. I think they'd like to go on a cup run again, but I can see Sheffield United putting a stop to it. So 3-2 could be a really good game.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Share your thoughts on that one, guys. On to the next game. We have Hull City versus Sheffield Wednesday. A little bit of a Yorkshire derby. Hull City, they drew 1-1 with Bristol City. A last-minute goal from Estupinan. And Sheffield Wednesday, Sophie, they are top of the Championship after that 4-0 win against Plymouth. Two things were true. Sheffield Wednesday were good. Plymouth were rubbish. It's a cup game. I'm not sure how serious Tim Volta and Danny Roll are going to take it. Let's go 1-1 Sheffield Wednesday on penalties.
So I'm actually finding this one quite tricky to predict because I could see it going either way. I don't want to say a draw and then choose anyone on penalty, so I'm going to have to choose someone in full time. I'm going to go for the away side. I think they're just going to nick it towards the end of the game. I'm going to say 2-1 Wednesday. Ooh. I think this could be a really entertaining game. 2-1. 2-1. Yeah. 2-1 Wednesday. Okay, 2 games left, Sophie. Let's go down to Home Park. It's Plymouth Argyle versus Cheltenham. Plymouth, terrible. What to go for here?
Terrible.
Yeah, that was really bad.
We've both backed Plymouth to stay up this season, but if they're going to stay up, they've got to be a lot better than that. They've got the home advantage. They've got plenty of quality. They need a reaction. I think, I know it's not the same as a league game, but Rooney needs to make sure he wins this. 2-1 Plymouth. I will go for them, and I'd love to see Plymouth get like Man United not in the next round. It might have to
Rooney.
be because it'd be Rooney versus Man United. I don't know. In round 3, I think Man United join. But there you go. I'm going for Plymouth.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Plymouth as well. Yeah, which sounds crazy after watching them the other day, but they're at home. I know it's under a different manager, but last season when they were at home, I did back them a little bit more because they did perform better then. They're against Cheltenham, so I think this could be a good confidence boost. Not taking anything away from Cheltenham, because on the day I think they could turn up and get a result here, but ultimately I think Plymouth right now need it more.
Yeah. I
know it's a cup game, it's not in the league, but I think for the team confidence and for the fans as well, because right now you're looking at Rooney and think, how long has he got?
Oh yeah.
There's going to be pressure on early doors after performances like that, so if you can get a win, some pressure off. 1-0.
1-0 Plymouth. Yeah. Okay. On to the next one, Sophie, then. It's the final game. It's a Yorkshire matchup. It's Leeds United versus Middlesbrough. It's also a championship matchup, and 2 teams that we expect to be up there. Leeds at the weekend, they drew 3-3 with Portsmouth. That game was mental. It showed just how good and bad Leeds can be. Yeah. Middlesbrough, they got off to the perfect start. They won against Swansea 1-0, and that's what it's all about. 1-0, get the win. Latte scored.
Of course.
As for this, I don't know. It's a cup game. Let's go 1-1 Leeds on penalties.
Okay, I was going to go 1-1 Middlesbrough on penalties, so we're going either way. I think it could take Leeds a couple of weeks to get the ball rolling. We obviously know they've got a very, very good team there. They played some good football against Portsmouth, and they had an opportunity, dying minutes of the game, to get the win. Fluffed it. But I think Middlesbrough have started quite strong, and they're going to want that momentum because last couple of seasons they've started off slow. So using this game as momentum, not even just looking at it as, okay, we really want to progress in the cup. I think just for the team, the confidence, momentum, I think they're going to go for it in this game and play a pretty strong squad. So I'm going to back them, but on penalties, it's going all the way.
There you go. Right, and that wraps up the games we are talking about. I'll leave the games we're not talking about there. As I say, guys, if we were to sit here talking about all of these games, we would probably be here for an hour. So there's our predictions, mine and Sophie's, for the rest of those games. As I say, feel free to share your predictions down in the comments. If you've not already liked and subscribed, please make sure to do so. It massively helps our channel. And if you subscribe, we might be able to hit 71,000 subscribers this week. We've got Carabao Cup streams coming up this week with Bristol versus Coventry and the Carabao Cup draw. We will see you in the next one. Take care. Peace out.